Am I overreacting to my partner's secret debt and faked documents? I am sitting here completely numb, staring at my two toddlers and trying to make sense of everything. I cannot understand how the man I love could systematically sabotage our entire lives. To give you the short version, my husband and I have two kids under 5. We both have solid corporate careers, but with young kids, things are always tight. Recently, he was offered a major promotion that required us to relocate 5 hours away. I was terrified. I value financial stability above almost everything, and I didn't want to leave our support system. But my husband wanted this badly. He spent weeks putting together elaborate spreadsheets, budgets, and cost of living scenarios to prove we'd be floating in cash. He looked me in the eye and said, "I've got this. Trust me." Based on his data, I agreed to sacrifice my career, quit my job, and move. For context, we went through a strict debt management program 4 years ago that we finally paid off. It took every cent of my personal savings to clear it, and he pays me back bi-weekly. Because of that program, our credit scores are fragile, and we legally and financially cannot take on new debt. I ask him every single month if our finances are clear. Every month, he tells me everything is perfect. Last weekend, we officially signed the paperwork to break the lease on our home of 5 years. Literally 30 minutes after hitting send, he walked into the kitchen trembling and looking terrified. He then confessed that he had secretly accumulated over $8,000 on a high-interest credit card. I felt the room spin. We had just legally forfeited our housing. He didn't just hide debt, he actively falsified every single spreadsheet and budget he used to convince me to quit my job. If I hadn't caught this, I would have walked into my boss's office the next morning and resigned from my job. That would have left my kids entirely dependent on a man whose finances are a burning building. The worst part is why he confessed. He didn't do it out of guilt. We were applying for a rental in the new city, and the landlord required a comprehensive, unredacted credit check. He was backed into a corner and knew he was about to get caught. When I demanded to see his statements, it wasn't a medical emergency or a sudden crisis. It was just mindless luxury spending. A few months ago, I was recovering from a massive medical procedure for my chronic autoimmune disease. During that time, he took off for a weekend sports tournament and blew over $1,000, even though he knew he was drowning in hidden debt. He knows that stress physically triggers my illness, yet he still chose to play Russian roulette with my health and our children's stability. This is a pattern. Years ago, he maxed out a card and lied about it until his card was publicly declined at our child's medical appointment. Bailed him out then, and he swore on our kids' lives it would never happen again. Now he is sobbing, begging for forgiveness and taking full accountability. But how can you forgive someone when the entire foundation of your life is a lie? I have worked so hard on myself. I'm years sober, I've done deep trauma therapy, and I just earned a degree in mental health. I've tolerated him being emotionally detached, lazy with chores, and treating me like an inconvenience in the past. This was because he stepped up recently when I threatened divorce. I am terrified. I have a chronic illness, 2 babies, and a husband who might genuinely be a sociopath, or at the very least a compulsive liar. I don't want to break up my beautiful family, but I am married to a stranger. Am I overreacting for feeling like this relationship is entirely unsalvageable?